If you can't kill a boss, no reason why you can't look like one. Moogle putting the wow in transmogs. And we're going to start off with the shoulders, which are the unstable slag slow shoulder plates. Blackrock Foundry Mythic Oreo Cookie is the boss, 20% on the drop rate. No, that can't be an actual boss, I'm joking. Anyway, Gladiators Plate Chest Piece, Netherstorm. BC PvP vendor, 3 marks of honor to get that old warrior PvP set from Burning Crusade. Looking pretty epic on a lady night elf. As you can see, the Burning Throne Shatug is the boss, 18% on the flame licked girdle. I'm not going to say where the girdle is, but anyway, moving on. The legs, Gladiators Plate Leggings. I was going to say Leatherstorm, but it's actually Netherstorm if you want to say it right. BC PvP vendor, 3 marks of honor. Now we have a Zandalari Troll Warrior showing you the feet. Blackrock Greaves, which is Alliance only. Actually, it's not Alliance only, but you can get it from your Dwarven Bunker or War Mill in your garrison. The hands, Blackrock Gauntlets, same gig as the feet. Part of that same set, 50 iron horde scraps to pick up that old piece. And the back, Parrot Feather Cloak, Freehold, Mythic, Sky Captain Crag, 12% on the drop rate for that cloak. And the headpiece, Titan Subjugator's Visage. The Burning Throne Garathi bosses drop it at a fair drop rate. And last but not least, the weapon, nice little great axe called the Skull Stealer. Shanix, 18% drop rate. Well, this is a nice mix of a few different tier sets here. The Pauldrons of the Iron Wrath. Hellfire Citadel Heroic, as you can see the boss, 8% on the drop rate. So that was straight out of Warlords of Draenor, the fun. And this is out of Mop, the chest plate of Congealed Corrosion. Siege of Orgrimmar Heroic Tears of the Veil, 22% is the drop rate. Moving on, we have a human showing you the belt, which is straight out of Mopland. Prideful Gladiators Girdle of Prowess, if you're Horde. Grievous, 1 mark of honor to get the belt. The belts are always cheap, so thank you, Blizzard. Moving on, the legs, part of the same tier set as the chest. Black Blood Leg Plates, Throne of Thunder, LFR, Primordius, actually, say that right. Moving on, we have a Lady Panda showing you the Prideful Gladiators War Boots of Cruelty. Mob PvP vendor, 2 marks of honor. If you Horde, it will be Grievous. And we're going to lick our finger, turn the page, and look at the hands. Corruption, Rotted Gauntlets, Siege of Orgrimmar, LFR, Tears of the Veil, 22% on the drop rate for the hands. And we got a Troll Warrior showing you the back, bringing you to the current tier, well, not current tier, but current xpac, Battle for Azeroth. And the headpiece, straight out of Throne of Thunder Heroic, Hardon is the boss, 17% on the drop rate for that headpiece. Moving on, the weapon is out of your garrison. It's a Proving Ground quest reward. There's something down and dirty and worry about this set. It just really works. The Nighthold Mythic Tichondrius is the boss to get the shoulder plates of the Obsidian Aspect. That's an old, not that old, but Legion tier shoulder piece. Now the chest is going to be pulled from Isle Expeditions, or you could buy it on the auction house. Gets cheaper as we progress through BFA. Moving on, we're going to show you the belt, Poison Binder's Girth, the Siege of Orgrimmar Mythic, Sun Tenderheart, 17% on the drop rate. Now, the legs are part of the same set that you get the chest from, the Geocrag Lizards, Isle Expeditions, or you could just step up, buy it on the auction house. Keep in mind, if you buy the chest piece and then you get the chest piece, you could always sell the chest piece, use the money to buy the leg piece. Moving on, the feet, as you can see, Emerald Nightmare Mythic, Unsak is the boss, 8% on the drop rate for the Trampling War Boots, which they definitely look like they're going to trample on somebody. Gauntlets of the Obsidian Aspect, part of the same tier set as the shoulders, as well as the boots, by the way. Moving on, we're going to show you the back, Wisdom of Dianar, the Bastion of Twilight, which is incorrect. I made a boo-boo. It's Gorgond. It's a quest reward. And the headpiece, Garalon's Hollow Skull. Heart of Fear, Garalon is the boss. 15% is the drop rate for the headpiece. And the weapon, the Black Hand. Blackrock Foundry, Black Hand is the boss. And we're going to start off by bringing you to a very cold place. Icecrown Citadel, heroic 25-man. Lord Marigar is the boss. 15% on the drop rate to get some really epic-looking shoulders. Moving on, the chest piece is straight out of Blackrock Foundry. Enforcer Sorka is the boss. 27% on the drop rate. And the belt is going to bring us to Mopland, I believe. Siege Vogamar Mythic, Sun Tenderheart, 18% on the drop rate. Now, the legs are going to be part of the same set as the chest, which, of course, is also out of Blackrock Foundry. Flame Bender Kagraz, 14% on the drop rate. I want to point out that just because of the chroma key to get out the color, the weapon really does go a lot better with this. That's the chroma key that you see with that purple in there, just to point that out. Not much I could do with that. I couldn't go with blue. I couldn't go with green. And anyway, the Fallen Lord's Handguards, Icecrown Citadel, heroic 25-man. Lady Death Whisper is boss, 17% on the drop rate. Part of the same tier set as the shoulders. And we have a Zondalari Troll showing you straight out of Hour of Twilight. Yes, there's an interesting one of those old Cata dungeons that were towards the end of Cata. The head, Wild Gladiators plate helmet if you hoard. It will be warmongering, and the weapon is basically difficult to get. Legion pre-patch event. We're going to start off with the shoulders. I always like these shoulders and finally found something I could use them for. The Eternal Palace. Zequel is the boss. Kind of a low drop rate for the pauldrons of, you got it, Zequel. Anyway, moving on. The chest piece. Savage Gladiators plate chest piece. Dalaran PvP vendor. That's the Wrath of the Lich King version. 3 marks of honor to pick up the chest piece. We have a Lady Draenor showing you the belt, Flare Forged Great Belt, Throne of Thunder Heroic, Cache of Storms, 10% on the drop rate for that particular belt. Moving on, the legs, also Savage Gladiators Plate Leggards, Dalaran Wrath of the Lich King, buy it from the vendor, 3 marks of honor to pick up those old school Wrath of the Lich King PvP pants. The feet, Master Artilleryman Boots, Howling Forge, Preying Upon the Weak. It is a quest reward, so that's easy to pick up. The wrist, we're going with a wrist here, which is Wayquest Manor, various mobs, or buy it on the auction house. We're not showing any gloves, actually. And the Wayquest Guard's Cloak, of course, Drusvar. You're going to have to find a substitute for your hoard. Tabard of the Brewfest vendor. It's going to cost you gold to get that Brewfest tabard. And the headpiece, Titanic Onslaught Great Helm, Tomb of Sargeras. Atragon is the boss, kind of a low drop rate for that really scary looking mask. And the weapon, Skull Stealer Great Axe Fireland Shanix, 11% on the drop rate. For the warrior who loves blue, here we go. The Grave Dredged Pauldrons, Tomb of Sargeras Mythic. The Desolate Host is the boss, 10% on the drop rate. Not a bad drop rate. Moving on, we're going to show you the chest, Gleaming Valkyr Cuirass, Trial of Valor, LFR version. Odin is the boss, kind of a fair drop rate to get that chest piece. You could always substitute any blue chest piece also. There's a set from Nexramus that you could put in. And the Iron Crusher's Collar, which is Mythic, Blackrock Foundry, Beast Lord Darmak, 20% on the drop rate for the belt from WAD. Moving on to legs, Gold Rune leg plates, part of the same tier set for Trial of Valor, LFR version. Or like I said, you can get a raid set, tier set. It's not a tier set, but a raid set from Nexramus. It's also blue, light blue. Molten Tantrum boots. Blackwing Descent. Magma is the boss. So he's the first boss. You can just pop in there, see if you get it. 7% is the drop rate. Moving on, hands, Cobalt Gauntlets. You craft them from blacksmithing. Check your local blacksmith or local auction house to pick up those Cobalt Gauntlets. Moving on, we're going to show you the back Azure Silk Cloak, vanilla level tailoring. Check your local tailor, check your local auction house for the cloak. The headpiece is straight out of Tomb of Sargeras, mythic version, part of the same tier set as the shoulders, same boss, by the way, as well. So that's very convenient. And the weapon, Shadow's Edge, yes, it is moggable. In the past, it hasn't been. If you're still listening up and until now, I want to say thank you for watching, and I'll close out by saying what I always say: whatever it is by you, whether it is morning, afternoon, or night, make your day epic.